Hi, how you doing? It's Ethan Feliz Castillo, and welcome back to CK Cafe. On today's episode of CK Cafe, we talk to my dear friend Peter-William Jamieson. He is an actor, he is a writer, he is the artistic director and founder of Street Kid Collective, company he started back home in Australia that he's brought over to New York to produce some incredible art, theater, film, and so much more. We have an incredible amount of collaborations that we've already done, some new ones that we're working on. You may recognize the play Borderless, which won United Solo Best Production, and he won Best Actor in 2024, so last year. And together we're now working on a film adaptation of Borderless. He is working on Backyard Desert, one of our feature films with us. And he's also working on a brand new play called Seawall, written by Simon Stevens. Seawall is a wonderful, wonderful play that features just one actor on stage, something that Peter does so well. We are playing Seawall for one night only on November 14th, 2025. If you miss it, it's not a problem. We're hoping to bring it back and do it again and again and again. If you can attend, then please do. You can visit streetkidcollective.com and ckproductionsnewyork.com to get yourself a ticket if there are any available. We're very close to selling out, but there will be a select group of tickets at the door, so we hope to see you there. And if not, we hope to catch you at one of our other productions that I'm sure we'll be putting on soon. We hope you enjoyed today's episode of CK Cafe. Everyone, welcome back to CK Cafe. Today I am joined by Miss Rosie Dean and the one, the only
Peter-William
Jamieson.
Get it.
We always try to say it at the same time. It doesn't work.
PWJ.
PWJ. Hey. G'day, guys.
Hey.
How you going?
Love that. We are doing so well, Peter. How are you?
I'm so much better. I'm speaking to you guys. Thank you so much for having me on. This is I'm such a big fan.
It's funny because we did the episode with you back when we had the studio in Queens, New York. We had a wonderful episode that Rosie and you had done, and it was a great episode, one of my favorites. And unfortunately, it's part of what we consider the lost episodes of CK Cafe, like a group of like 10 or so episodes that just completely disappeared off of the face of the earth. And we're sad that that episode never aired.
Yeah.
But excited that we could have you back now for CK Cafe 2.0.
Yeah, I think a sneaky little elf snuck into the studio and erased my hard drive because I have literally no other explanation for where those files went. But it's okay.
It's crazy.
It's just gave us an excuse to bring you back.
Exactly. Hey, works out for me. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Peter, you have a lot always going on. You're always working on a bunch of different projects. But right now we have one that we're doing together collaboratively with your amazing company, Street Kid Collective, and our theater division, CK Theatricals. So before we dive into Seawall, this amazing play, and all of the collaborations that we have together, I want to give you a chance to talk a little bit about Street Kid Collective, because I feel like so many people have seen the branding, especially people who follow CK and follow us. They know that we do stuff together. They see Street Kid, they see creative kids, they know that this is a thing that we, a company we collaborate with. Can you speak about what this is, how you started it, what the goals are, all that kind of stuff with Street Kid Collective?
Yeah. So essentially I started it during the COVID lockdown in Australia. It was just I wanted to start my own thing, and I wanted to create a bit of a platform to present my work and then grow out of that to have other people and to collaborate with other artists and actors and writers. And the Street Kid sort of name came from when I was a kid, because I grew up in the suburbs, sort of in south of Sydney. And it was just we didn't really care, who you were. We didn't really care what your background was, or what house you lived in, how much money your family had, or anything like that. As long as you came out onto the street and joined in with the gang, and we could just go and we'd go bike riding, or we'd go doing whatever. And it was just that thing of you know what, I know a guy or I know a girl and they're really cool. Yeah, let's go play. Let's go and create some stuff or do some stuff. And it's coming from that sort of place of just whatever your background is, whatever your gender, anything. I don't really care. As long as you're cool to play and you're interesting and you do interesting work, that's the most important thing for me. So it's sort of just gone from that, and yeah, it sort of blossoms from that. Like we've done some theater, obviously, and then there's short films, and then other things that are in the future as well. You know, like Backyard Desert, but I don't really.
Amazing.
I don't know how much I can say. I don't know what you want me to say.
You could
Yeah,
say it.
Backyard Desert.
Oh, you can say anything. You could say anything you want. I love the name Street Kid Collective. I think it's just so catchy and so cool. And I love the fact that, you know, you have Street Kid Collective and we have creative kids. It's the two kids on the playground, the two creative kids
The cool
playing
kids
together.
on the block.
The cool kids.
Hey.
We all gotta be creative kids.
I always like catch myself saying like, oh, I just want to be like them when I grow up. I'm almost 35. When I grow up, like mentally, I really am just still a kid. And I think all that good artists
Yeah.
are. We don't really ever grow up.
That's what I was gonna say. It's creatives. Like for some reason, when you work in the creative arts, like you need to keep the childlike imagination alive in order to like not just keep the dream alive, but also like actually do the thing. Like it is so imaginative. It is you're playing. That's really all it is.
Yeah,
You're playing make
it's
believe.
like the
you know?
imagination, and it's also like the hope of a child, like the seeing the world for the good and focusing on that instead of the bad. I think there's a beautiful thing about children.
I'm a little bit worried as to like what kind of inner child I am, because we were talking before in the green room saying like all the pieces that you've seen me in have just made you guys cry. Like talking about needing to do a comedy. Oh, I think I'm one messed up kid.
Hey, don't worry. Me too. Me too. I think I gravitate towards the drama and towards the more depressing pieces of theater and film and art. So I feel you on that fully. Well, talking about some dramas and some, you know, darker works, you and I have seemed to only gravitate towards that when we work on stuff together. It's all been around pretty dramatic themes. And last year we got a chance to work on a play together. And I guess, oh my gosh, it was last year. And was it the year before that too?
20.
Oh my gosh.
23. Yeah, it was at Theatre Lab. And then 2024 was United
gosh.
Solo. Yeah.
Wow, the time has really flown. Where has the time gone? Oh my goodness. So yeah, we worked on Borderless together. Can you give us the I guess the elevator pitch to Borderless, because this is a project that was the first like big scale collaboration that we did. We had done Cosquillas, we worked on a short together, but this one was really a big undertaking because of what it was. Can you tell us a little bit about Borderless and what that project is?
Yeah, of course. So I guess the elevator pitch, if you want, I'll start with the elevator pitch and I'll expand. But it's about two kids, two stepbrothers. One of them is just your average middle class, all American kid, and his stepbrother, is an Afghan refugee who he and his mother fled from the Taliban during the civil war in the mid-90s. And his mother marries my dad. They have a great childhood. It's incredible. And then 9/11 happens. And during the invasion of Afghanistan, that the character who is my stepbrother, says that he wants to go back, and he wants to go back and do his part. It's sort of examining how even years and years and years after the battles have been fought and peace has been declared, that the scars are still there mentally for a lot of the soldiers. And one of the big sort of statistics that inspired me to write this and to research it was Australia. 46 Australian soldiers died in Afghanistan and Iraq throughout the whole conflict, but over 800 servicemen and women committed suicide since returning home. America lost, I think it was around about 8,000 or 9,000 servicemen during the entire conflict, and now it's over 30,000 returned servicemen and women that have committed suicide. So it's just, I think actually maybe even more. It's really escalating. So the mental health crisis specifically for veterans was just something that really, it just shocked me, to be honest. And it was just like, wow, like, as soon as I read that statistic, I remembered a friend of mine, Johnny, who had fought in Afghanistan. And there was one memory I have of him, and I knew he'd been through some stuff because he was a bit rough around the edges, and he was still, I guess, in some ways decompressing from going and fighting and serving on the front line. And I was working in the gym with him. That's where I met him. And he was watching this TV, and there was this riot that was happening in Egypt. And he was just watching it. And I went over to him and I just said, "Oh, what's going on?" He had this expression, this look on his face. He was just absorbed in it. I said, "What's going on?" And he just turned to me and he said, "Oh, they're all fucking animals over there." And then he just turned and walked away. And I was like, whoa, that is like, well, the first thing was like, that's so, like, I never expected you to say that. But the follow-up question was like, what happened to you to say that? Because I know he always had a bracelet on with his best friend's name on it. And it was like, rest in peace. So I know he'd been through some stuff. And then years later, when I saw that statistic in the paper, I called him and I was like, "Look, I've got this idea for a show. I just want to talk to you, hopefully, about your experiences there and just to hear your story. And you don't have to do it if you don't want. We can just meet in the pub and have a couple of beers." And he was like, "Yeah, I'll do it. Of course. Far out. No one's ever asked me that. Love to sit down." And we literally sat there for about 3-4 hours, and he just told me his story. And although I have like the sort of the story for Borderless, a lot of his experiences have like worked their way into the story, and other veterans that he recommended me talk to. So I really interviewed a fair few veterans, and they had so many stories that you could make 100 pieces of like theater or story, like, movies about their lives. It was just so amazing. But yeah, it was just taking parts of all of their stories and putting it and filling it into the narrative to create this really realistic piece. And it's amazing performing it because the first people, usually, I can always tell when veterans come to watch this because they'll be sitting in the audience and they're usually always sitting in the front row. And they're always the first person that meets me at the stage door afterwards. And there's been veterans, like at Theatre Lab, we had that Vietnam veteran who, as soon as I walked out, he just like started bursting into tears, and I had to like hold him. He was visited, like weeping. And
it was one of the most emotional things. I mean, just seeing it from afar. I wasn't even in that moment, but just seeing it, and I was just like, wow, this is... it's what theater can do, and even more so than theater, but what an accurate reflection of what these poor people have gone through can do to them, right? Like to not just reopen the wound, but also in a weird way, like use it as a healing moment to be like, hey, you're not alone, It's beautiful what you were able to do with Borderless.
Johnny, he came and saw it, and he was there on opening night in Australia. And it was one of the most satisfying as an artist, as a writer and stuff, where you create work and you have that response from people. He was sitting front row, and he was the first person that like grabbed me. He literally grabbed me and got me into a headlock as I'm walking out. And I'm like, oh God, I hope he's okay. He's not going to kill me. And he grabbed me and he was like, "I'm so proud of you. You told our story. You told our story. You got it out there. You did such a good job." And I'm just like, oh man, I just like burst into tears. It's like, it's just so rewarding being able to just shed some light on that, because these guys and women, like, they're taught to, if they're suffering, not to show it, not to talk about it, to like keep doing their job, like to keep fighting. And it's not the healthiest thing in the world when they get back and all of this stuff just comes out. So it's such a rewarding piece to just to help and to even just spread awareness, because even people, if you don't know a veteran or anything like that, if you ever meet one, you kind of get a glimpse of to like what they've been through and how they sort of, conduct themselves and how they can try and fit back into this big blue civilian world.
Yeah. Now, Borderless is just such a powerful piece, and we've been so honored to be a part of it when you brought it here to the US, man. Like, it's it's such a special thing. Like it's just such a unique piece of theater because it's just I've never quite seen anything like it. And like Rosie and I talk about it all the time. We always randomly will bring it up or bring up certain lines. And not only did you write it, you star in it, and like to see you portray this character, but then also all of the other side characters. I mean, it's something that's just so amazing to witness. Like it's incredible.
Oh, thanks, guys. Well, it's Rosie on the soundboard and the lighting board that really like helps
Hey,
I
me.
mean, hey.
hey, we it won best production at United Solo for a reason,
It
right?
was not
Right?
me, it was all Pete.
Nah.
But oh my gosh, what a superstar. That play is so phenomenal, and I'm so glad that it had such a great life and that you're keeping your one-man show spirit alive with your next
Oh,
undertaking.
it's so narcissistic. I know. I'm so sorry. I just get so self-conscious about it. I'm like, oh, I'm just like
No.
I'm the personification of narcissism right now. I'm,
No, you're not. I think it's so interesting, and I think a lot of actors like don't ever in their lives dare to do it. I'm
Yeah.
curious what it is about one-man shows or one-man plays that you feel drawn to, and like why you doing another one. Like, what is it about it that you love?
well, to be honest, I actually wanted to do this play before Borderless, and this play inspired me to write Borderless, but I couldn't do it because the rights just weren't available. Like, I really wanted to do this play, and I'm just like, and there's a couple of things that you'll notice that took some inspiration from this play that made their way into Borderless. So little pieces that have like, have been inspired from this piece. And to be honest, it's cheap. It's really cheap to do a one person show because you don't have a big cast. You don't have any cast. You're the cast. You can rehearse anywhere. And
Yep.
you don't have to pay for a rehearsal room. You can just, and especially this one, like it's very budget friendly. Like there's no costume changes, there's no set pieces, there's no lighting. It's just pure, uncomplicated storytelling. There's a part of it that's so those things, taking those things into consideration, it's also when you do it, it gets addictive because it's very communal almost. It's like almost like preaching in a way. Like it's just this pure storytelling. And it's like it just goes back to the origins of storytelling, which is what I've always loved, is like, it's sitting around a campfire and just telling stories. And that's what our ancestors did. That's what like how we all started. And then obviously Hollywood and cameras and special effects and stuff. But to be honest, my favorite form of storytelling is where just a person just with no big bangs or anything, it just tells their story and shows a part of themselves. Like there was this open mic night I went to years and years ago back in Sydney, and it was just an open mic, and you just told a story, and the best story won. And it's just so interesting just watching people go up and tell these stories about, oh, they were embarrassing or it was funny or it was really sad. But you just everyone left in the audience feeling like they'd experienced something together and like something personal was shared. And that's, I guess, the magic of the magic of theater.
Yeah.
And the magic of a one person show, right? Because I think one person shows, like, they're just not it's not easy, but also it has this idea that it's like, hey, this is you and me here, right? It's like I'm speaking to you, and it could be an audience of 100 people, but it feels, because it's one person on stage, I'm talking to you. And that feeling really is special. I think Borderless was so interesting because so many people had, obviously it's an original play that no one had seen before, with the exception of when you had done it in Australia. So when you bring it to New York, it's to all new audience members. They have no idea what to expect. They're coming in seeing a one-man show, and there's so many vain one-man shows about people's life and their experiences. And then you come in and you hear it's about veterans, and then you get hit with the power of what one-man theater can be, and what that storytelling can be like in an intimate space. Where we first did it in Theater Lab, and even when we did it in a larger theater at Theater Row, same idea. Like, it's still, there's something about it that felt so intimate. And what I love about what we're doing now with this new play, Seawall, I think is so special because we are telling it in a unique sort of setting. We're doing it in a gallery in Chelsea. It's not in a theater. It's the people are right there with you. There's no lights, there's no sound, there's nothing. This is as pure as it can get, right? It's the actor and it's the person there. And I think it's so unique and so exhilarating to see theater done this way. I would love to hear more about Seawall. I know you were so inspired by the play and it's one that you really love, but tell us about what the play is about and why you decided you wanted to produce a version that is told in this specific way, not on a stage, not in a traditional theater. Like, why in a wonderful gallery in Chelsea? Why there?
Well, the character, the character, the protagonist, Alex, is an artist. And it never really made sense to me. Why not just put it in the actual setting that the story takes place in? Why would you need a theater? Like when you can, a gallery, there can be an audience there. It's an exhibition of his work. And also what's amazing is it's just added. So he talks to Alex, essentially, I'll give you a little rundown of the story is that Alex he's an artist and he talks about his family, his wife, his daughter, and his father-in-law. And gradually, bit by bit, you kind of get the sense that something has happened. You're not sure what has happened, but this man is going through something. And it's such a beautiful script. It's such an incredible script written by Simon Stevens, who's a very, very renowned British playwright. And this piece has been performed at the Old Vic, and it's off the West End and off Broadway. And it's gradually, you find out something has happened. That's as much as I can say about the plot, because when something happens, I'm not giving away the ending. But I just thought, you know what? A point of difference. I really enjoy theater that's as immersive as possible without getting to, like, there's still a set thing of like the seats are there and the actors there without getting too lost in, performative sort of stuff where like you don't know what's going to happen or what's going to fly out at you. No, this is very much like you're sitting down, you've got the exhibition, you arrive at the gallery, you see all of these pieces of work, and it's actually insane that this has happened because we were talking, Ethan, you and I were talking about like having photography up or throughout the walls of the gallery or exhibited, but a lot of the pieces, or all of the pieces that are up in the gallery, this gallery that we're performing in at the moment, are actually sculptures. And there's a sculpture of a little girl, a sculpture of an older man, a sculpture of a woman. And it's just like, that's his wife, that's his daughter, that's the grandfather. Like, they're actually in the space. And it's as if he's exhibiting his work, he's presenting his work. So the audience can come, they can see the exhibition, then there's a sound cue, they take their seats, and then the artist essentially comes out and starts presenting his work. It's just like, it's happened so perfectly. I cannot explain, just miraculous how this has come together so perfectly, but like unintentionally. It's amazing how these pieces of work have really become like almost characters within the show. Like, you as the audience endow them so much because you're hearing so much of the story about them and about the person they are, and it just rides along with the story of Alex. It's going to be really, really special.
Super excited about it. And it's happening on the 14th of November. So if you're deciding to listen to this after the 14th of November, you missed it. How dare you? How dare you
Gotta
miss
start
it?
working on that time machine, I guess.
Dropped the ball. But hey, if you like this play and you did go see it and you got a chance to see it and you're listening to this afterwards and you want to see it again, let us know. We would love to put it on again. And I think that's one of the things I love about doing one man show, like you said before. It's more obtainable from an independent perspective. This whole podcast is all about talking to independent creatives. I think independent theater is a weird art form because it's so expensive and there's not really like a way to do theater the same way you can do a film. You can grab your phone and make a movie. You post it to YouTube and it's out there. But with theater, you need a place to do it. You need an audience to be there, or else what'd you do it for? It's quite a challenging thing. It's a production. So I think doing a one-man show is so interesting because it gives you the ability to do it again and again and again in different spaces, in different ways. So I'm excited about that. And I'm excited about the collaboration that we have with CK and Street Kid Collective here, because I hope we can continue to do more pieces like this, challenging pieces that get people thinking, but also pieces that are immersing people in theater in a unique way and in a unique setting.
Yeah.
I think that there's something about that that's
because
so special.
I think we have this like preconceived idea that theater has to be this big production and it has to be hard and it has to be expensive. But I think at the end of the day, it all comes back to what Peter was saying about it being like just the original form of storytelling. There's nothing stopping you from doing it yourself, like Peter, or grabbing a group of friends and saying, hey, we're going to do a play. We're going to stand on that little stage in Washington Square Park. We're just really going to project. And if anybody wants to stop and see what we're doing, cool. That's a play. Like, you know what I mean? It's free, technically. So I think we need to stop putting all this pressure on art and just do it with the resources that we have. Yeah.
And find ways to collaborate. I mean, that's one thing I wanted to kind of dive into here too, Peter. Part of why we have this podcast is to hopefully get other independent creatives thinking about making their own art, right? And going out there and creating stuff on their own. And, you know, one of the things that I think you and I have done so great together and separately has been, we don't let not having money stop us. And we actually use that almost like fuel. Or maybe we're lunatics to the outside world, but somehow us three on this call, we find a way to create the art that we want to make no matter what. So I wanted to speak to you about that. And what fuels you to keep going? What fuels you to keep making art, even when it isn't always the most fruitful? We don't walk out of that stage going, we made the $1 billion and now we're rich. Why do you want to keep doing it? And what tips do you have for anybody who wants to do this?
I think it's a very deeply personal question as to like why you create art. Like it's just like why are you an artist? There was Andy Whitfield who sadly passed away, who was Spartacus. I remember I did a workshop with him, and I worked with him for a little bit in this workshop, and he said you need to know why you want to tell stories, and don't forget that. Write it down and put it away, so that when you are like going through a tough time, when you've lost your way and you just don't know, like you're doing a TV commercial selling diapers and you're like, oh, dude, why am I doing this stuff? There is a higher purpose and there is a greater goal. And just to come back to that as well. I don't know. Yeah, I just keep doing it because it's what fulfills me. And obviously I have a goal and everything, there's a reason why I do it, but you just have to keep doing it. If this is what you want to do, just tuck the ball under your arm and just keep running. And then you'll get there eventually. But just keep running.
Beautiful advice. I completely agree. Yeah, especially nowadays where art is more accessible than it's ever been. We open up an app and there's a million different forms of art that we can consume. Non-scripted, scripted, skits, reality, everything is at our fingertips in a matter of seconds. If you want to make it and you want to do it, you'll find a way to do it.
Even if like remember there was one show, Borderless did like pretty well at Theatre Lab. Like it took a while for the word to get out and stuff, but we had sold out shows. But remember there was that one show where only 2 people came. And it was just there was two lovely old ladies and they just sat there.
Yep.
And it was the best thing. Like you actually said to me before, you're like, do you want to cancel the show? Or like, what do you want to do? Like, there's just 2 people in this theater. Like, that's it. And I'm like, nah, let's do it. And like, just put them there. And it was the most liberating experience because that was your audience. All I had to do was just tell the story to those 2 people. And like, I remember them like really enjoying it and feeling like the impact of it. And if you're changing just one, I mean, it's such a cliche. It's such a cliche thing to say. But it's like, honestly, if your art can just impact one person, then like you've made a difference. And if that's going to get you through, you got to hold on to the little things in this business that are going to get you through. And it's the little wins. That was such a funny experience. At the time, it was like, oh God, this is rock bottom. But then after I did it, I was like, oh, I feel so much better for doing that and so much more rewarding. It's such like I felt really rewarded artistically. Even if it was just two old ladies, the impact it had on them visibly was like, great. I'm glad.
So were you like making eye contact with them the entire time?
Oh yeah.
Like just literally they didn't get a break from you.
Oh,
Like
Borderless is a tough, like intense show. And I was like, well, you're going to get a show. All right.
like I need you here with me right now. Yeah, we're doing this.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to hold your eyes. Like, yeah, you got nowhere to hide.
I love that.
You know, it's so funny. I think it goes back to what you were saying, right? It's like creating art and like the reason why you create stories in any capacity in the first place. It's like that was the purest form of storytelling. It was you and another person, and you were telling them that story. It brings it back to the whole core of why you do this thing in the first place. And that I'm never going to forget that entire run. It was, yeah, so special. I always think about it, man. Oh, you got to do Borderless again. Hey.
Watch this space.
Hey.
Watch this space.
Watch this space. Yes. Well, actually, let's talk about that a little bit, because Borderless, it's not just a play. You are, as we speak now, you're in the process of turning it into a feature film, my friend. It's a wonderful feature. I've gotten a chance, lucky enough, to read about 50 or so pages of it so far, and it's fantastic. It's a different adaptation of this piece. What is that like? Not just adapting theater into film, but also just like writing a film versus writing theater, because you do both so well.
I guess everyone's different, but me personally, I find writing for theater so much easier. So much easier. Film, it's
Why?
Film is so much more detailed, and it's more like visual. Like it's just you got to be a lot more specific with your writing. And also then it's like, not only that's because theaters, it's expositional, like you've got to get it out there because it's not a visual medium, but like in film, you've got to, in the action, you've got to write the details of what's happening, but have good word economy. And then it's the same thing with the dialogue. It's got to be like not too expositional, but it's got to be driving a point, and it's got to be naturalistic to very much naturalistic. And it's a lot more finicky. So yeah. I much prefer, but I mean, Borderless it's interesting. We're doing some things okay. So, all right, before everyone cringes and they start melting with, oh my God, shut up, dude. But Borderless, the film, honestly, this is going to be very, very, very different to any other film that's sort of out there. When you say a film about the Afghanistan war, the first image that comes to your head is like, oh, the desert, like explosions, landmines, guns, battles. It's not that at all. So we're going to be doing it in a bit. If the best way I can describe it is that if you've ever seen Dogville, that 2001 film by Lars von Trier with Nicole Kidman, Paul Bettany, James Caan, Stellan Skarsgård, like a stacked cast. It was set on a soundstage and with lines going on the floor, which delineated the room of the different type of this whole village. It wasn't just a house, it was a whole village. And we've sort of taken a little bit of that, but also like bringing it into a cinematic sort of area where it's going to be shot on one continuous take. So it's going to have that theatrical element, but we will be going into close-ups and pulling out. And the set will be constructed like bit by bit around. And so, yeah, it's going to be in a bit of a surrealist sort of setting, but and embracing its theatricality, but also at the same time, some of the things that we're going to be doing stylistically shot-wise are going to be really, I don't know, it's such an overused term of like groundbreaking or innovative, but it really is. Like,
yeah,
this, I don't think
they are.
Well, you can talk about that, big bloody director. Go on.
Well, I'm excited to be working on this piece with you, man. And like, I mean, I think having gotten the chance to produce the theatrical production twice in two completely different settings, and then thinking about what can a film version of this be. I remember when we first were speaking about it, us three actually at Theater Lab. I
Yeah.
remember us having a conversation at some point, going like, "Oh, this could be this, or this could be this. Oh, we could shoot it in this place. We could shoot it in this place." And then it's just gotten smaller is not the right word, but I get more contained, I guess. And it's having it take place in this like live but not live, and in the world but also in this surrealist, interesting kind of world building that we're doing. I think all of that, it feels so different, but it also, I think one of the things that you've done so well with writing it so far has been that it never feels gimmicky, which I feel like oftentimes when people are aiming to make something that's different, it's coming from a place of a gimmick. And I think that the idea behind this is like, you're making the story, which is already written, which is already proven, which is already a United Solo Best Production winner. And you know that this piece is good. You know it works. More importantly, you know audiences respond to it. So you're not changing it in that way where it's losing its humanity just to make something artsy fartsy and cool. Instead, we're finding ways to, as you said, I think groundbreaking and innovative are the right words. They're not intentionally groundbreaking or innovative. They are becoming groundbreaking and innovative because we're almost forced to be doing certain techniques that either haven't been done or have to be done in order to accomplish a shot. So it's really
also
exciting.
completely grounded in truth, the reason why we're doing this, because the whole story is from Blake's fractured mental state. So it is in a little bit of a surrealistic, like it's a fractured narrative anyway. It's not linear. Like it jumps from like childhood to like this part and then to this part. And it's that way because he as a character is very damaged. And from his like damaged mental state, you can jump into various memories that pop up. And so it does go hand in hand with it. It's not just, oh, what are we going to do to be different? What are we going to do to win awards? Like we're not doing that at all. This has come very naturally, and it's very much grounded within the truth of the fabric of the story, which is, I mean, I hate giving myself props, but it's like the story is very strong. From the audience's reactions, from everyone's reactions, we know the narrative itself is strong. We're not just trying to bake an awful cake with lots of sweet sugar and stuff like that. But like the whole setting, the foundation of the piece itself is in a really good place.
You got to give yourself credit, man. You wrote something beautiful, and you can own it, man. Own it.
I'm very Commonwealth. I don't do well with compliments. I really don't do well with compliments.
I know that about you, and it's so frustrating because you're so deserving of them. I just wish you could. I wish you could just soak them all up. But I get it.
Stop it.
And it's just a test. It's just a testament to how humble you are. I think it's really sweet and endearing.
Well, to be honest, I just want to be like you guys. You guys are like, the trendsetters, the cool kids on the block, dude.
Hey,
and you're, as we said in the beginning, we are the cool kids. It's all of us, and it's everyone who listens to the CK Café podcast. You are also a cool kid.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, Pete, thank you so much for taking time and hopping on our podcast today. Thank you for your wisdom and for continuously pushing us, Rosie and I, but also audiences to witness theater in unique ways and experience stories in different ways that maybe they weren't expecting to see them. I think it's something you do so well.
And step out of our comfort zones in our own ways. Yeah. I think that it's so inspiring that you are making all of these things happen for yourself, and you are putting yourself out there to be perceived in, oh my gosh, sometimes I have scary dreams that I'm doing a one-man show. So the fact that like you are literally king of the one-man show is like Like, I would confidently say, like, I could put you up against anyone, and I think that you are literally king. You are so iconic.
Oh my
Um,
God. Please
it's really
stop.
inspiring.
Stop with the compliments.
No,
please.
sorry, I got a whole pocket full of them. I'm just gonna rattle them
Yeah,
off
we
So
now.
much. Thank you.
But you're so wonderful, and you're such a good writer. And I can't wait for you to have like all these plays published, and for people to be like, "Oh, the new PWJ play's coming out soon." Like, we simply must get tickets, but I hear they're impossible to get. I just can't wait. It's all coming, and I'm so thrilled for you, and I'm so honored to be on the journey with you.
Well, Pete, can you please let everyone know where they can follow you, where they can follow Street Kid Collective?
You can follow me, or you can follow Street Kid Collective on Instagram, also on Facebook. All of the sort of connections with streetkidcollective.com. Come and see Seawall. There's a link on the CK Theatricals, the link in the bio, Street Kid Collective Instagram, or just go to streetkidcollective.com.
And it's at Gallery AP Space in Chelsea, so come check it out. And as Peter said, visit streetkidcollective.com or ckproductionsnewyork.com, wherever, because we got a lot of projects that we're working on. We got a lot of new stuff coming out, so please make sure you check it out. All right, Peter, thank you so much for hopping on the show. We appreciate it. We'll see you soon. Go Rabbitohs.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Love you guys. Love
Yeah.
you, Rosie.
Love
Love
you.
you,
Love you too, man. Thank you so much for watching CK Cafe. As always, you can follow us online at CK Productions NY on all social media platforms. Follow all of our branches, all online, specifically on Instagram. You can follow CK Theatricals to learn about our theater, CK Films NY to learn all about our film stuff. You can always visit our website, ckproductionsnewyork.com. We hope to see you at Seawall, and if not at Seawall, at one of our other productions with Street Kid Collective. We have plenty of other shows that are coming up, plenty of other ways you can support our films. And as always, you can check out our Substack for our monthly newsletter. Thanks so much for watching CK Cafe and for listening. We'll see you soon. Bye.